Hello, ghouls. Haley Adams here. It's late. I look gross. I just got done doing a ghost tour, but I saw Longlegs today, so I know I'm late to the game, but I wanted to give you guys a little review, spoiler free. So I honestly, I'm not sure why people are hating on this movie. I don't think it deserves that, at all. I thought it was a very good movie. There were things I would change, however, so I guess that's where it's coming from for a lot of people, but also seeing people just straight up be like, oh my god, it's not scary. It's like scary is subjective, okay? Maybe there weren't jump scares like out the wazoo, but that premise is pretty terrifying, right? And before I really get into like my nitty-gritty thoughts, I do want to talk about Nicolas Cage because I've never been so unsettled by him, and that's Nicolas Cage. The makeup job they did on him was fantastic, but also, it looks like the majority of women you see at like a rest stop, like going up north from the south at any point at a rest stop, you could run into a woman that looks like Longlegs. You know, that's not me being mean. Like, it's just a thing. Full disclosure, my ghouls, I just downed a double Jameson when I got home. So, if I seem a little wonky, that's why. Am I gonna start singing like Longlegs? No, I'm not that drunk. So I do think comparing this film nonstop to Silence of the Lambs did Longlegs a disservice. Because other than it being a female FBI agent tracking down a blonde, quirky serial killer, it's really nothing like Silence of the Lambs, like at all. So I do think people were going into it expecting that, kind of expecting the same vibe. The vibes are completely different. I saw a review on Letterboxd saying that it kind of creates its own world, and I very much agree with that. It does feel like its own world, but at the same time it feels so familiar. Like I feel like I know this place that they are in, but it also feels so disconnected, and I think that helps to add to the eeriness of the whole thing. Now, as for like what, oh my god, that's on there. As for what like I personally would change, while watching the movie, it feels like so much is happening. It just creates this atmosphere where ow, where you feel like a lot is going on at once, but then once the movie's done and you've had a minute to like process it, not that much did actually happen. So I do kind of wish more happened on screen. Like, this isn't really a spoiler, but it kind of is. Instead of like flashbacks of, I wish we could like seen one like on the screen. I also get that that would have given away kind of the big reveal if they did that, but I kind of wanted more. Another thing is I wish we got more time with Nicolas Cage. I know that he was meant to be like very jarring and unsettling, and like that's kind of removed when you are on screen for a certain amount of time. So I get why he wasn't, and I do kind of wish we had more between him and Micah Monroe. I would have liked to have seen that, but also at the same time I get why they didn't do it, but also it would have been cool having them play back and forth. And like, I'm trying not to give spoilers, but there's a scene where I wish there was more to it. I wish there was more lead up, honestly. There wasn't a lot of lead up to big things that happened. I also kind of wish there was more of an explanation for like why things were the way that they were. Like I can accept magical realism like very easily. Like if somebody were to be like, Haley, there's a fairy outside, I'm like, where? I'm looking. But within a movie, I don't want to like now just be expected to accept that. Again, this is kind of spoilery, I'm sorry. I don't want to be like expected to accept that something otherworldly is happening when it's been set up to believe it's just a man. Does that make any sense? Like, I feel like enough people know the premise is kind of satanic. I feel like if we're setting up a satanic thing, we should have more of that from the get-go and not just a guy we perceive to be just a guy. I would like to see more otherworldliness to it. Like we're in a world that feels like this is reality, and if that's not going to be the case, I would like to see that. Does that make any sense? I'm rambling. My phone storage is not going to like this. I have an ancient phone. Overall, I did like it. I don't think it deserves the criticism that it is getting because it's a good movie. It's shot phenomenally. Like, the way it's shot is very distorting, and the music and all, like I said, like, you think a lot is happening when it's not. I think it's a good movie. I would watch it again. These are the things I would change about it. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. Let me know your thoughts, and I will see you guys in your dreams tonight. Let me know.